Quorum present, 6 o'clock. Okay. April 9th, 2025, Park Board meeting, 6 p.m., Hazlet Community Center. Okay. Citizens participation, I can't talk. Participation and comments. No citizens present, but we do have some items of community interest. The City of Hazlet General Elect. I for real cannot speak.
What were you going to say?
Probably I should go home and come back. The City of Hazlet general election will be held Saturday, May the 3rd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the purpose of electing the office of the mayor, council member place number 2, and council member place number 4. Early voting takes place the 22nd through the 29th of April, and you may access that link if you are listening from home for early voting locations. The City Hall offices will be closed on Friday, April 18th for Good Friday, as well as Monday, May 26th for Memorial Day. The annual Easter egg hunt is coming up on Saturday, April 12th. Wait, that's like in 2 days. Saturday, April 12th in 2 days at 4 p.m. at the community park. There will be a Keller Hazlet Road Extension opening and ribbon cutting ceremony held on Friday, May the 2nd at 10 a.m. Big brush and limb drop-off day is now at the Hazlet Public Works located at 791 Schoolhouse Road. That's going to be Saturday, May the 10th from 8 to noon. And finally, we have a Memorial Day celebration coming up on Monday, May the 26th at 10 a.m. at the Memorial Garden in Community Park. Can we see the minutes? Wild Robot. I even forgot the name of that movie. Yep. 800. Yep. Looks good so far. Excellent. And then do we get the, we can consent agenda if we got those financial statements with the right year, month and year. If you don't mind clicking on those for us just to make sure. Great. And then I think we pushed back. Can we just glance over January and February? Great. Excellent. Then if you could, don't mind scrolling back to March, just to make sure there's nothing new we need to notice. Do you know what the 321 community outreach was for? I don't know. Probably yoga is right.
321.
Yeah, it says general expenses, community outreach.
Yes, we paid the yoga
Okay. What did we pay for in the community park project? 34,860?
A whole lot of engineering. Maybe the mayor has more.
Do you know what that line item is for? The community parks project expenses?
What, you're asking what the community parks project is about?
No, we're asking what the actual expenses were. We just have a number, but no one provides us with a list, so we usually just ask, what did that $34,000 include?
A whole bunch of belts and invoices.
The $34,860?
Yes.
Those are the.
I mean, not to the exact, but-
That's the billings that the engineer has submitted. And it may be also with regard to any of the vendors that say such as did AC work or anything of that nature. We can get you a detail of that if that's what you would like.
We just usually check. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's a very long list of invoices, but
Just go, please take note of that.
Yeah,
We'll,
we just like to know an idea, just so.
provide
like, oh, yeah,
them a breakdown of the monthly community park project billings.
It's really
and
kind of
we'll just-
anything. So typically, like if we know when we see the Easter eggs, we know how much the Easter egg hunt line, we know what we approve for Easter eggs and we can kind of do the math. But if we don't know
Sure.
specifically, we just like to make sure.
Sure. Fair enough. That's, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll gather that report together and email it to the board.
Oh, great. And then you were saying engineering. Can you share, like, was it engineering for what specifically? Do you know? For the
Well,
trail or for the memorial garden? Or?
Such as engineering for the tap trail,
Okay.
pavilion,
Okay.
all that type of park specific, and we'll get you that.
Okay.
no, it does not include Veterans Garden.
So that we'll follow up.
Okay. Do we want to push it forward one more time?
You can approve it with the report coming to you.
I mean, so seriously, what happens if we disapprove of it? It's kind of too late once it's spent, right? It's not like we can say anything. It's not like we have anything to say. We just like to know.
No, I mean, my recommendation, if you don't want to approve this, just having that lump community project.
No, I think
Billing
we want
is
to approve
to-
it, but my question is, what if, so say for example, I'm actually asking you a hypothetical question. Say for example, I can't imagine this would happen, but one of the charges is for $10,000 for a new car for Katrina. It's never going to happen, right?
For a what?
For a new car for Katrina. It's never going to happen. I'm giving an example of something absurd, right? What would we do if we didn't approve of the expenses on an expense report as a park board? Would we just go back to council?
No, you submit it to me.
Okay. I mean, it's never going to happen, like a car for, but say it was an expense that we didn't necessarily think was appropriate or something.
No.
I'm just curious,
no,
what would we do? I don't know,
I
we've never
agree.
had that happen.
I agree. And you would turn that around, submit it to me, and then I would approach
Review it.
Katrina,
Poor Katrina.
and I would approach the finance director.
Okay.
And because I certainly did not authorize
Of course.
the purchase of
Of a
a
new car for $10,000.
or anything else like that. So, no, fair enough. No, we'll get that to you. What's today? Wednesday? Maybe by Friday.
Okay.
And what you could do is table this to the next meeting. That'd be the appropriate thing to do.
It would. Now, January, February, March, and April, if we could table those to the next meeting. Can we separate, could we just do them individually and approve the January and February and then?
Because this, your latest one is cumulative of all the months, so.
Well, that's a month actual. That says we spent $34,000 in 1 month paying fees and our cumulative is $55,000.
Right.
Right, so I'm just curious to where that 34,000 is. It just seems like a big number to be told, hey, it's just a bunch of
Here's my
things.
suggestion, and you can move on with your meeting.
Yes,
Is table this until the requested detail
Got it.
is provided. Table till the next meeting.
perfect. Anyone want a motion for the minutes? I think those were fine.
I have one quick question on
Yeah.
the minutes. Should we, nothing in there was mentioned about us taking a step back on the Veterans Memorial, on what we were going to do, and we talked about bringing in a landscape architect, and none of that was in there. Does that need to be in there? Or no?
Pending professional services agreement, design drawing, and scope of work document.
Because there was no motion, I didn't include it.
Yeah, no one on the park board actually
It was
made a
more just an
motion
update.
to do any of that. So, and you just might keep that as a lesson learned.
Okay,
When you, okay, we're going to do this. And you can, while you're on that topic, okay, I make a motion to do X, Y, Z. But from your discussion, it was understood that we have to go get a landscape architect.
And that is provided under 7B.
I think it's just the wording he's asking about, because on our agenda, it's listed as an update item, so we couldn't have made a motion at that time.
A 7B is strictly an
elaborate-
update. It's
Right.
not, it is not an action item, and that would be in a different set, that would be
So,
under
but
8.
correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, you're just asking if that should be included in the notes, the things more specific that we spoke on.
Right.
That we were updated
Well,
about.
that we're not going through with what we presented to the council. We're taking a step back.
That has to be motioned. Because you can't reverse something on council, council would have to reverse that.
Right. Well, they just approved funds, right?
Yeah.
Wait, excuse me, what about the council?
Well, the council approved our initial proposal for the veterans, and we
Right.
wanted to take a step back from that
Right,
and go with the landscape architect.
correct.
So-
That does not need to go back to council.
Okay. So there you go.
So council doesn't have to reapprove a
No,
change?
no.
So how do they approve something that they didn't approve?
They approved your request.
Right, but they approved a specific request that, so I'm really asking. They approved a specific request that was submitted from our team, and they said yes. That would be like me saying, here's a Honda, buy it. Nope, never mind, you can have this GMC. Like, it's still a car, but it's a completely different car that I didn't approve. Don't they have to reapprove the new plan?
You requested to go with a design
Design, and then we had
that
a
you
vendor.
didn't have a design. But, so
Okay,
you requested, can we do this? They said yes. They
Yes.
didn't say, you shall do this by
Okay.
a certain time.
got it. So
Now,
if we change it, we need to request a
For,
change.
for the park board to go, okay, let's take a step back. That does not go back to council. I wouldn't submit it to the city council. That is not an appropriate item for the legislative body of the city to be seeing again.
Now, if we come in with a new design that's significantly more than the initial design that we proposed, then we would then have to go back to council, correct?
Once you, well, there will be, once the design is produced, then that will go get the bid to a landscape constructor. Numerous of, that we pick, and they will have to execute a contract. The contract's got to go to city council.
Okay.
And if it's not a contract that they approve, they're not going to approve it because it's not what we submitted initially. So we would be wise to advise them of the changes.
You're reading too much into this.
Okay.
You're reading too much into this.
But well, let's just go back, because the question is, do we need to say that on this summary from the minutes from last? We don't really need to mention more specifics, is what Chuck is asking, right?
Well, I think when I read this, I thought, well, what happened to the Memorial Garden being redone? When I read this minutes,
Yes. Oh, you thought the same? Okay.
but and it doesn't say that. It just says it's going to be refurbished, but there's no mention of a future project of it being completely revamped, so that, I think, Chuck, is that what you were alluding to, that we need to keep including that in our minutes?
Well, my point was that we're taking a whole step back,
And it could entirely change the whole project.
and I guarantee you, it's going to entirely change the project.
And the way
So-
this is written, to me, it sounds like we're proceeding as usual.
Exactly.
Council approved on March
That's-
3rd, pending professional agreement and a work document.
That's what I was wondering about.
But really, we want to make changes, as what we discussed in the update, so we would change the wording of this minute, right?
Or just keep adding it to our
okay.
minutes?
This sounds like this was an update.
Correct.
Now, was the meeting the month prior to this? Is that where?
No, it was this meeting. You
Okay, we'll go
presented for
back
us.
to the discussion and action, with regard, there's a bottle station. There's nothing in there about the Memorial Garden. It would show up under action items.
Yeah, we didn't have an action item, it was just an update. The only thing we
That's
had to vote,
for-
so our
that's
meeting,
for-
this is our March meeting minutes. So in March,
Do you have the prior meeting minutes?
That's what we're looking at currently.
No, you're
You're
not.
saying
I'm
from
talking
February?
meeting minutes prior to this meeting that we're looking at right now. What was on that agenda? Sarah, do you have a copy of it
I
there?
do. Yep.
Was that item on your agenda?
I'm trying to go back and make sure I have the right one. So for the meetings from February 12th included,
Yeah, you weren't at the meeting, but we had another meeting. And I don't think we were at meeting.
there was nothing.
Did we get any minutes?
So
on
what meeting did you even have the discussion of the Memorial Garden?
That was the special meeting.
We had a special meeting. Yes, it was
Okay,
a
then we
one
go to the
thing.
special meeting minutes.
Yes. Oh, maybe that's why I'm not seeing it. Hold on.
Check that through.
We have the special meeting minutes, the minutes from that. Where are my special meeting minutes?
It's where we had all the proposals from the,
Yeah, no, I have the minutes. I just don't have I don't have the one in this packet when we approved it.
All right,
This was the
here's one here.
It was the 14th, or 18th, there we
yep,
go.
there it is.
Oh, it's here, sorry. That was my fault.
Okay, one item there, recommendation, Monument Company, motion
I'm so sorry, it's right here.
to, okay. All right, so this was the meeting prior, correct?
Right.
Okay, and then the last meeting, these minutes that you're in front of you now
Is what?
are with regard to a update.
Correct.
Because administration said, well, wait a minute,
Right.
we got to get a landscape
Yeah, no,
architect.
we remember what happened. Our question is, shouldn't the minutes reflect that statement? So statements that were made by administration saying this should be changed, this is an update, wouldn't it be fair to include that in the minutes since that took place?
Yes.
Since it was an update?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Not an action item, just an update, so,
Okay, let's correct the update. What should
Okay.
have said?
I'll let you say.
I gotta remember what I said now. That we decided to,
Suggestion of administration.
We were
Yep,
informed because
at
we
the-
couldn't decide anything.
at the suggestion of administration, to take a step back and have a landscape architect
Review the,
review the improvements to the Veterans Memorial Garden.
And more particularly, and Mr. Fiedler, as I recall, okay, you're the designated representative for the
Yes.
park board on that memorial garden, and you and Mr. Tucker had met out there, and rightly so, you became, wow, this is a lot bigger than what we thought,
Yes.
and that you were uncomfortable with it, and the board agreed with, okay, we really need to go with a design, so we know what we're getting, and the contractor knows what they're building. And that was the impetus of all of this.
Right.
And that's where we are. So, so was these meeting minutes, can you zoom this thing out a little bit?
You mean the previous meeting minutes again?
No. So, this is the most recent
This is-
meeting minutes
From
after the recommendation to do the work?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Then, all right, so in here, may I suggest that the park board representative, Mr. Fiedler, met with the public works director, and Mr. Fiedler recommends that a design actually be produced by
So
a
we can't
landscape
change what
architect.
actually happened, sir, we just need to update it.
Say it again?
We can't change what happened at the last meeting, we have to just update what happened. So what
All right,
happened
but
was
that
you
was the
presented it
discussion
to
that you
us.
had.
Correct, but it was presented, administration presented to us an encounter that we hadn't previously considered, and we agreed with that.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not saying take anything I said out. It's just that,
So just updating, if we can just.
It's just
I think we
updating
can just
minutes.
make a motion today
Yeah.
for that to happen.
Yeah, so we'll just,
Not community park?
no, we just have to addend that, we'll have to push this whole consent agenda one more week,
Mm-hmm.
one more month, and ask for an addendum to the previous minutes that includes, We'll tell you.
I would suggest this. You can table approving these
Exactly.
meeting minutes.
Exactly.
And what we can do is update this as our recollection, and we can submit it back to the park. We can email those minutes to the board, review them, and comment back, you agree or don't agree, and it'll show up at your next meeting for approval.
Sure, now what would you like them to say?
We'll just tell
I
you.
know what to put in there.
we'll tell you, it's fine, we'll just read them. We're going to table, I would like to motion to table the consent agenda line item number 4 until next meeting, till the addressed updates can be made reflecting an itemization of that one larger line item on the budget, as well as
Yes.
inclusion of topics that are needed. And anyone would be free to email those to Katrina with any suggestions you have, and she can update that.
Well, and the mayor, please.
Yes. So, anyone,
No, okay, I'll second the motion.
all in favor? Excellent.
I have a question. It used to be listed where we could talk about anything underneath the parks.
Talk about it, but we can't make a motion.
Why?
It has to
Why
be
talk
on the
about it if we
agenda.
can't?
Because you
motion?
don't have it listed as an action item.
You have to have it on the agenda.
The
So it
purpose,
has to be-
the purpose of these agendas is to let the people know, the public,
Mm-hmm.
not just you, but the entire public know, here are the action items we're going to vote on. Here's what we're going to discuss.
I got you. Okay, now I got it. So if I want to, just example, just to be clear, if I want to talk about planting trees where the plaques are and no trees are, I have to put that on the minutes for
Yep.
next time?
So you either
I mean,
ask
the
me,
agenda for
Let me
next time?
clarify that, please. You can talk about it all you want.
Uh-huh,
If you want an action item.
an action.
That's a different topic. Then it gets listed, planting of trees, action item, because you're going to buy something, you're going to do something there.
Okay,
so
do
to
you-
place an action item or an item on the agenda for
Right.
Parks Board purposes, it has to
Uh-huh.
be placed by the Park Board Chair, and I'm never going to tell you no, or by the mayor himself.
Well, anybody
So
on the
council has
board,
different rules, but board members,
anybody on
can
the
add
board
whatever
can
they want.
request an agenda item.
and I'm never going to tell you no. So basically, whatever you ask for will stick on there, so.
And, internally to your board, if you, go through the president, then fine, continue that. But that's where we need advanced review and acknowledgement of the agenda, things of that nature, so we can get it correct. Make sure what you're requesting is correct.
Okay.
Good? Any more points of clarification or information? Excellent. All right, we have the Easter egg hunt coming up, 5A, on April the 12th, 2025. We have Easter eggs ordered.
We have everything ready, and we have,
Did anyone decide to sponsor?
yes, we have 6 sponsors,
Nice.
and we are going to have 6 booths or vendors. Some are sponsors and 2 are not.
Okay.
So who else going to be there?
I should be.
Chuck, Cindy, Sarah, those other people that aren't here aren't going to be there,
And Dana's not.
and Dana's not going to be there, so just us 3. And I think Serge is going to try to make it. He usually shows up. So we'll say the 4 of us.
And what time are we meeting at the park?
You tell us.
3 o'clock?
I'd say at least 2:45 because other people will be there at 3 to set up.
Got it.
2:45.
And I told that we all would be wearing the blue shirts, right?
Okay, blue shirts. Put myself a note.
If I'm running late, I'll text you.
Perfect.
I'll be coming from the ski.
And you know I'm always
We
running
set up
late.
just like last year.
We do have,
We have a bunny.
we have a bunny. And we do have volunteers from 2 different churches. Oasis was with
Nice.
us last year, and
Oasis and not Girl Scouts, 4-H.
4-H.
But how many? Nobody has said yet. I don't think they know. Either group hasn't given me a number.
Well, I think the way that we've reorganized it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because we're not spreading it around the whole entire park. It's just the one area. And if just the 4 of us show up, I think we'll be good.
Fine,
Yeah. So any extra help is obviously appreciated. Okay. Memorial Day celebration is May the 26th, 2025 at 10 a.m. We have a speaker. We have chairs.
We do have a speaker. Do we need to
And we know
start
his
like the
name.
Boy Scout? Yeah, Terry Jenkins.
There you go.
My son-in-law. I've double checked with him again, so.
Yes, sir.
With regard to the Easter egg hunt, did the Cub Scouts ever get a hold of you?
Not for that.
Okay, I know I've had a Cub Scout group ask me if they could do a community work.
Yeah, they've done the Memorial Garden before.
And it is on April the 12th when they would like to do it. Now, you might get them out there eating all the candy besides putting it out, 9 and 10-year-olds.
Are they doing it in accord with the big event? Or completely separate from that?
They called me and said they had scheduled a community, work project, and it got canceled and asked if I had anything. Well, no, we don't. Nothing that I can put 8, 9, 10-year-olds on.
Well, they
So-
previously pulled weeds for us over there at the Memorial
But
Garden.
would you desire, if, Katrina, since you coordinate and organize, would you desire to have me reach out to them to see if they would be interested?
If the children would like to come and help us spread out eggs, we'll welcome them. Without knowing how many we're gonna have, but last year Oasis sent like 20 kids. Like, we probably have enough, but I don't usually turn volunteers away because you get a lot of no-shows with volunteers.
Okay, I'll reach out to them. Are y'all in favor of that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll reach out to them, and I'll get you, if it sounds promising, I'll get you in contact with them, Katrina.
And if that doesn't work out for them and they're more interested in a work day, they're welcome to pull weeds at the Memorial Garden. I know they've done that before, and do you remember that?
Yeah, but
Well, I think they've already taken care of that.
Oh, it's already done. Okay, never mind. Scratch
But
that.
I'll update you on all
Okay,
that here
all right.
later.
All right, so Memorial Day celebration, May 26th. We do have chairs. We do have Terry Jenkins.
We do have Terry Jenkins.
We have the sound system. Have we tested that out? Anyone?
Yes.
We did? Okay. Excellent.
I'd still like to do that, so I may pop down here sometime and,
I told you to come.
I know you did, and
Make sure it's working.
make sure I know how to work it.
Okay.
So me and Cindy aren't sitting there,
Pressing buttons.
yeah, trying to figure, like we had the problem, was it
No,
last
you got
year?
this. It's really easy.
Okay, good.
We've tested it in here just several days ago. The important thing is you need to know how to turn off the disco lights. I don't think that would be appropriate at the Memorial Garden.
And you're always so good at finding people. The Boy Scouts, do we need to?
going.
Oh, you already do?
Yeah.
Then I'll leave you to it. What about, how soon do we have to have the agenda to be, that we print out and, for the, yeah, the program?
About 3 or 4 days before would be sufficient.
Yeah,
Okay,
I aim for a week anyway, just to see. But
so do we have the Boy Scouts?
we haven't called them all yet.
Okay, you gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll coordinate it with
Okay,
The problem is you get
a new leader,
leader,
and then you have to find out who that is.
oh,
It's
really?
hard to keep up with the contact, but I can contact whoever, I have the contact for, and the mayor has a contact.
Does anybody know if Northwest ISD has an ROTC program?
I do not.
They do?
Eaton does, I know Eaton does. Well, I don't know if they call it ROTC, I'm sorry. They do have a program where they learn about the flag and everything. I forgot what it's called.
Would you like to call them?
Yeah, I'll follow up on that, and just as a backstop, because the Boy Scouts do it every year, and they do a pretty good job, and I guess it's a community thing for them too.
Yes.
So I have no problem with that, but if they have a
You
ROTC,
can go over to the American Legion, is that what it is?
which one? The VFW?
Yeah, the VFW on 287.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually send four people to come and help raise the flag.
Oh, okay,
And we have one more meeting before the event. So we'll
right,
still have one
but
more
I start
chance to-
sweating stuff early, so,
It's okay.
okay, good.
I think the Cub Scouts are the ones that we always have the best turnout on.
Yeah.
It's 2 different groups, they're a little younger.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust the Cub Scouts.
I get it, but they're the ones
Mayor.
that volunteer the most.
Yes, ma'am. With regard to your Memorial Day celebration, do any of you know a gentleman named Don Graves?
No.
All right. Don Graves is he may be 100 years old now, but he's very mobile. He is the last surviving Marine from the Battle of Iwo Jima, and he lives here.
Oh, cool.
And he is a very decorated Marine as well. Would you want to entertain, not to speak or anything, but to have him attend your Memorial Day event? I know you got a speaker lined up already.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would like to give him a seat on the front row.
All right, I'll reach out and see if I can get Mr. Graves there.
Cool. And then if you do, if you can just let Cindy know, because she takes care of the emceeing, that way she can,
So, and
oh, Chuck's going to MC, if you can make sure Cindy
And
and
just
Chuck.
get
So who do
a
I
bio
coordinate
of
with?
me. Just
You and
Chuck will-
Cindy?
Chuck will MC this year.
Chuck's going to take it over this year, but just make sure that we have his biographical
Little bio.
information.
Yeah, a little
Right.
bio.
So that we can announce it and thank him for being there. He just stand up and everybody can
Yeah.
applaud his being there. We had one scheduled a couple of years ago, but he got confused and he was sitting at the library picnic tables. I found him when we were all finished, and he was awesome. He was really neat, but he's not with us anymore. But he was a World
There's
War
not
II
many
vet.
of them left.
I know. It would be
Very
wonderful
good.
to have him come if
Yep.
he's able.
Well, I have a recent picture of him sitting over by the Memorial Garden here in Haslett this last January. And I just thought of that. It would be neat if we have someone like that from World War II and such a noted battle is to, Don, come on, just join us.
Yep,
And I think he'd
absolutely.
love to. All right, well, thank you. I'll do that.
Thank you. Anything else? Did you have something for Memorial Day, Dana, you were going to ask?
No.
Okay. Next, we have the Independence Day event and fireworks program on June the 27th.
Did we get confirmation from the band?
Yes, and we have paid the deposit. And let's see what other updates I have for you. Okay, here's what we have so far. So far, we have the fireworks, the band, the Euro bungee with staff, the trackless train from Sky Pirates, the 2 tents, and 2 porta-cool fans. So what you don't have are real acts, face painters, and
So let me go back, because we should have real acts. That was checked off at last meeting. I have the train, Euro bungee, security, axe throwing. We have a credit from last year, and you were going to move that over. And then we have the porta tents, the fan, and 200 beach balls.
well, the beach balls, need a motion to spend your advertising money and it'll be up to $400.
We did that.
We did that, okay, my bad. Okay, so I think the only question I have
Do we need to motion then? Because we were advised that we did not need to motion on real acts because we already had a credit and that was already taken care of. I mean, I specifically wrote credit from last year for real axe throwing. Nope, it's under 4th of July. Christmas is a whole nother note here on mine. Did we forget?
I don't know if it pertains, but you have, and I've had this discussion before, I think with Katrina, is that you have an overall approved budget for entertainment.
Correct.
You don't need an action or a vote on each individual one.
Right.
So,
We just usually approve, yes, we're okay with this price for this
Sure.
item. But we already had approved real acts. That's why I'm a little bit confused because in our minutes from last meeting, we were told we have them.
double check that right now.
And if we don't have them, we would like to have them because we all assumed we already had them. Very popular.
The problem is their email doesn't work anymore and I tried to call and nobody called me back.
I can find them.
So I don't know what's going on with their company. Okay, so we have tentatively 2 Fourth of July and 2 trains for Christmas already confirmed.
So I thought we only had one train 4th of July, but maybe I don't understand.
That's my question. So
Okay.
we have a quote for the train added in.
We have Sky Pirates train for 4th of July, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So on this quote, we've included trackless train with inflatable party magic too. So the only thing I want to know is that we're going to go with 2 trains. It was suggested we go with 2 trains because.
So let me tell you then. I'll go back. So it should be Sky Pirates. We had a $222 credit. That's for Christmas, and we added inflatable Polar Express at Christmas only. We don't have a second train scheduled for 4th of July. Maybe you mix that invoice up for Christmas and 4th of July. So 4th of July, Sky Pirates train, Euro Bungee at $13.50, security at 4 for $65, up to $1,500, axe throwing reserved by credit from last year, Porta Cool tents and fan, 200 beach balls. Then for Christmas, we have a separate list item. We have Santa Heath, Mrs. Claus, DJ Real Axed at 800, second train, Sky Pirates, inflatable Polar Express, face painting. So we don't do face painting at 4th of July. I think you might have just mixed the 4th and the Christmas. Because we don't normally do face painting at 4th of July.
No, because we have been.
Because they have vendors.
Yeah, my only question was the second train because it is on the quote, but I can take care of that.
Yeah, that should just be for Christmas, not for 4th of July.
Okay.
Those notes that you have that are clarifying what vendors you want there, is that something that you can pass on to
Ask me that question again. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
the notes that you have you're reading from?
Yes, my
Is that,
personal
okay,
minutes.
is that something that you can
Yeah.
itemize, okay, for this event, we want these things?
Yeah.
For this event, we want these things?
If you can read my writing, you're welcome to it.
Oh, I mean, well, can
Yes.
you,
Make a copy and give it to
Yeah.
if you make a,
I just try to keep a running list on my own personal copy, but I always,
maybe you could type it out so that it can be read.
I'll try my best if I can read it. Yes.
All right, and that way, then there, I think that might clarify what Katrina.
Yeah, I think we must just switch those, Katrina.
Yeah, I think it's, the credits, some of it had to be used.
Yeah, because that Sky Pirates credit was something about we had $222 left because that first credit applied to the 4th of July.
Right.
And then we had an extra 222 that went towards the Sky Pirates for Christmas. And then we added the second inflatable whatever from Polar Express with face painting. But I don't have the price on that one here.
That's okay.
Okay, maybe you were getting the price, I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe I just didn't write it.
I think we're good for 4th of July again if we don't want to, go with anything else.
So do we need to find Real Axe to make sure they're coming?
Feel free to reach out. I've
Okay.
called, left them messages and sent emails trying to clarify, and their website is gone, and I know they sold the company, but I thought they were good.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize they had sold the company, so. I will find out,
Yeah,
maybe.
somebody else can do some research, because I just kind of waited for them to email back, and they haven't. And they usually do,
Okay,
And we're all set for Christmas, too.
Real Axe, 4th of July. Make sure there wasn't something else we're gonna put on there. So let me ask you this, because I did not remember seeing this on the minutes because I wasn't paying attention for it. So if it's not there, do we need to motion for the beach balls or do we have that on the minutes? Can you roll back?
They're not in the minutes.
Can you roll back to the minutes from the last meeting and see if, did we miss the beach balls? I wrote down 200 beach balls.
Yes,
I
because
think
I
she was
didn't
gonna
get
check
your
on the
price.
price. She was gonna check.
Oh, okay.
That we do.
But again, we don't have to have a motion, it's out of your advertising budget. It's
Got it.
covered.
Do we know what they're gonna cost? About?
Up to 400.
$380. Okay. I feel like the beach balls are really fun. I think it's totally worth it. Cindy and I walk around and pass them out, and families blow them up and play with them, and you see Hazlet flying around the park. It's kind of fun. Let me make sure. Mid-Cities Women's Clinic, table truck.
Yeah, $395.
Okay. And then do we have any vendors yet for the 4th of July? Are they?
We do.
Oh, good.
Have a couple already.
Okay. Great. All right, so we can move to movie in the park. So last meeting, we got the screen. We just went with the smaller one. And we picked the movie. Do we need to order that, or you just order it on Amazon and then we give it to the library, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good on that.
Do we have a sponsor? Did the realtor company? No, okay.
Haven't heard from them.
So if we don't have a sponsor, do we want to consider having some type of food vendor? Did we discuss that? Having the barbecue place set up?
We didn't really discuss it.
I was thinking that I remembered something about that.
For free, so.
Yeah, because it was in and out.
They just quit doing that completely?
Yeah,
Yep.
Katrina kept emailing him back, and
They just got too popular. They no longer offer that service.
'cause at first it was only like not National Night Out, like not big holidays, and then
Well,
Katrina,
it used to be, but then it just became
Yeah.
conflict of interest because too many people.
we're trying to get
requested
in. Okay, screen, so do we want to maybe go back to the popcorn? We have to buy them individually, we can't bag them like we used to, right?
it. Correct.
Trash.
But you have time to
Okay, I'll see if I find anyone that has
consider
a
that at your
permit.
next meeting or two.
Okay. National Night Out is October the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. And I feel like Katrina really does all of that. What do we need to help you with?
And you guys, already did the DJ cost for that, so we've got that, and that's all for now. Maybe when we get closer, if there's anything.
Okay. So mark it on your calendar. It's a fun time. Christmas in the Park, December 6th, 2025. So I'll tell you what I have, and you tell me if this is not correct. I have 2 tents, a 16-foot dry slide. I have tables and chairs, but I don't remember why we wanted tables and chairs.
It just comes with the tents.
In the tent.
Oh, in the tent. Okay, sorry. I thought we meant for people to eat at or so. Okay, got it. And then the train, and I guess that's all from Inflatable Party. Is that who supplies that?
That's right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do we want to get 2
And-
trains?
Yes, we're gonna have 2 trains.
Euro bungee.
And then, did we do Euro Bungee at Christmas as well? We did? Okay.
You guys motion for it?
Well, I didn't remember that part. Okay, and then we have Santa Heath, Mrs. Claus, who we asked on the spot and agreed. I have that we have real acts, but I guess that's pending an $800 expenditure.
No, I have that, we have them too.
That if they're not in business or they've sold, we'll have to make sure it carried over. DJ,
Yep,
second train from Sky Pirates,
right,
face painting,
right,
stilt walkers,
yep.
and security.
And snow party,
Oh, yes.
that's it.
Did you say face painting?
I did.
2 of them?
I don't know.
I think there's 2.
We need, yeah, 2.
Do we have 2 face painters?
Yes,
What about the slides, snow slides?
yes, we have the 10-foot slide.
When there gonna be a second one? We were gonna do 2?
You guys are gonna do the hay
Correct.
slide
Right.
next to it. And we.
And we got a dry
snow is
slide.
already included. All we need to do is get the hay bales, and we'll just do that closer to Christmas because it's not like they have them in stock right now. But I'm sure it'll be roughly the same price.
Do we have petting zoo?
You have before, but we do not have it approved for 25. I can get a price though if I want to do that.
I always like petting zoos, but
I don't like petting zoos, so I'll go with the group on that one.
They're not the same as it used to be. They keep the animals confined, and then the kids just come up to them, and they don't get to actually interact with them like they used to be able to.
have we got the new speaker ordered for the music for the tree? Do you know?
I sent that message to James, but I do not know.
Okay, and also fencing barrier to put around all the electrical cords.
I tried to look for that online and I haven't come up with anything.
I saw some today at Home Depot that would work, but
Send us a link or something, because I'm not entirely sure what.
So what is this that you need? What
just,
about electrical
just some
cords?
fencing, around all the electric cords. We have 20-something electric cords that go to all the 3 singing trees and the snowman and the bulbs.
Is it actual a fence?
Excuse me?
Is it an actual fence?
Oh, it's just some kind of little barrier to keep
Like a little
kids
garden
and people
fence,
behind,
the little 1 foot
from
tall.
coming behind the tree or
So
stepping on
people
the
would have to
cords.
step over it.
No, it's just
Ideally, you don't step over it at all. It's just kind of like to block it off because people are
block it
tripping on the
off.
cords.
I see.
behind.
That needs to be submitted to James Tucker.
He knows about it, but yeah.
Okay, if we'll put that, make a little list here with regard to that, then that can be followed up on.
We have a list, he has it.
Well, okay.
We'll add you to the list email. How's that?
Well, instead of a fence, could we use, how they have those, I don't know, they're
Rubber
almost like-
covers.
Yeah, that you put the wire inside, and it's kind of like a transition on a floor.
And it lays down so you
And
can
it
like
rolls
roll a
down
wheelchair
flat.
over it.
I don't care how we do it, but it just needs to be a barrier because the kids get back there and they, mess with the plugs. And 3 times I went out there and things weren't working and they just need to be plugged back in because people were stepping on it. And
I just worry
Right.
about a fence
And
being a
whatever we
tripping
get
hazard.
needs to be commercial quality, not anything, you're not going to get that from Home Depot.
right. Okay.
So,
So I'll just say a way to,
Protect the wires.
thank you,
From the public.
Wire protection.
extension cords is actually what they are, right?
They are.
Yeah.
I've just been trying to get that for 3 years.
I know. We'll get it this year.
Anything else?
We're good.
I just need to make myself a note about that relax thing. Frustrating. Okay. Let's see. Discussion regarding updates at city parks.
well, thank you. Gamble Park, the picnic pavilion and covered bench, those items have been placed on order. The foundation for the pavilion and the bench, well, is no longer out to bid. We had the bid opening on April 8th. We received 4 bids, and all that work, which includes all the tap trail repair, as well as drainage issues in the park, as well as the foundation for the pavilion and the bench. It was all inclusive. Good news is we received 4 bids ranging anywhere from approximately $330,000 to $430,000. But it was, most of them were within our budget. And those bids are being assessed right now to determine the best responsible bidder. And as far as meeting their requirements as well as capability to do the work. And once that is determined, it will be taken to City Council to award the contract, and then we'll commence work.
I'm
that's
sorry,
spec-
Mayor. It says the bidding was opened April the 8th, which was yesterday?
Yeah.
And you've
That's
already
correct.
gotten 4 bids on it?
Say it again.
You've already gotten 4 bids on it?
That's
great.
That's what the purpose is, a bid opening. It's advertised, and they're invited, okay, we will, whatever bids we receive, we will have a public bid opening. And they're held in this room most often.
Okay.
And they're all opened up and read aloud.
It's just so quick. That's great.
Well, it just turns, those bids were out, that work was out for 30 days and advertised for bidding.
So you
Yeah.
just have until April 8th to submit
They-
your bids. Then
It
we
was
open the
advertised
bids,
that April
like a
8th would
physically
be the
opening-
bid opening.
Physically opening the
It
bids.
just
Got it.
coincides that your meeting's the day after.
I think Cindy might have been thinking that it was open to submit bids, not that we're opening the
yeah.
actual bids. Got it.
No, there's a whole process that this goes through, and there's a 30-day notification to bidders, and it's advertised in the paper. And Community Park won the Sam volleyball court. It is being weeded for all the grass removal. If you notice along the outside portions of the curb, there is dirt buildup, little mounds of it, and grass growing. That's all going to be shaved down. And also, additional sand has already been ordered and to be brought in and add to what we have and leveled out and build it up. The water bottle fountain that the board chose has been placed on order, 6 to 8 week delivery. Public Works will self-perform that project themselves. They will route the water line underground to the fountain and pour the small slab. That's well within their capability to do that work. Tap trail and drainage, as I mentioned, it was out to bid as of yesterday, and all of that was opened, and we got good responses, and all those bids are being assessed by the city engineer right now, their office. And
I'm sorry, do we have a city engineer or is it a hired engineer?
say it again.
Do we have a city engineer now? I remember we had one and then we did, and I'm just being updated myself. Is the city engineer an employee of the city or is it someone that's contracted?
It is, our city engineer is
Okay.
Belchup and Associates.
Got it.
And we've had a city engineer, there maybe was a 2-week gap 4 years ago,
Okay.
but we've had Belchup and Associates well over 3.5 years now.
Got it. As the contracted.
Yes,
They don't work for Hazlet. They're contracted by Hazlet.
correct.
Okay, got it.
We don't, anyway, different
okay.
topic altogether.
Just asking. Sorry.
All
Sorry
right.
to distract you.
The Veterans Memorial Garden, I don't know if you've been out there to look, but Public Works pulled up all those bricks and reset all of that. Looks very nice with what they, and just to clean it up. Also, a large load of the granite rock has been ordered, and it's coming, and it will be laid in the garden as well, because there's many places that you can see that weed barrier that's sticking up. It's covered over the years, kids or rain or water has washed rock away. But there will be new rock placed. It will be pristine when you have your event. And that's Public Works is taking care of that directly, and we're not relying on outside help.
Great.
I just want to make a quick comment about our parks. Northwest High School had their senior picnic out at Community and Gamble Park, And I got feedback from some of the teachers, and they had a blast out there and thought it was wonderful. So they made use of everything, pickleball, tennis ball, everything that we had out there, beach volleyball, basketball. She said, you name it, they did it out there. So just want to thank Public Works for keeping the park up, and, you know, kids, everybody's enjoying it.
Yeah, they reached out a couple of months ago to me, asking if they could do that, and we coordinate on logistics and things of that nature, and said, fine, you just can't park 14 school buses over there. You got to find somewhere else to do that, which they did over at the Legacy Learning Center. But just some small coordination there. But yeah, they had a good time.
Great.
It's a very neat park.
They
And-
also, in fact, if you didn't know about it, they also invited several hundred kindergartners, I believe, and they had seniors who were their partners, and they drew each other's pictures, and that they had a real big bonding session with that too. So they used everything in the park. It was fun.
I asked them to please police the area before they leave. Did they do that? So I didn't get any complaints. Good. Well, they did a good job. Good job. No, I'm glad they can enjoy it.
I have a informational question, point of information. Someone told us last week about the trees that we were going to replant, where the tree had died. Someone had bought a brick in front of the tree. Do we have an update on that? A plaque. It was a plaque in the ground, and we need a new tree.
There's several missing trees.
No?
Okay.
Put that on
Excuse me.
Do we need to make that an agenda item to make sure?
It escaped my mind.
Oh, it's okay.
Let's just make a note of it, and that's what happens if, okay,
Can we ask for an update on our future agenda? Just an update on the replacement of the trees at the
why
plaque?
don't we go ahead and state what the concern is right now? Just so
Missing trees at memorial plaques in the park.
missing.
Dead trees. Trees have died where people have purchased a plaque. So there's a plaque in front of a tree hole.
Oh,
where
they
there's
got
no
a
longer tree.
plaque,
There's got
and
a
they
plaque.
bought a tree.
Correct, but the tree died.
That the tree died.
Yes.
And we know where those locations are?
Yes.
I would be challenged to go find them myself.
I can show you 3 after this meeting.
I mean, that we were just told that when it was the right season to plant trees, they would be replaced.
When is that season?
In the fall.
Because I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I've always been told the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The next best time is right now.
Fair.
In the fall is better. They have a better chance of making it through the winter and the next summer if you do it in the fall.
James knows where they are. I think he used his little apparatus to mark everything out there, so he could probably bring it up and show you, where all
Okay,
the...
I think it's just a matter of us making notes to follow up and what to report on. I think that's what it is. If we could make a note of that, Katrina? All right, very good. We'll make sure that's reported on your next meeting.
Okay, for future agenda, is this where we need to add action be taken, with the architect down at the Memorial Park? Is this where we add that?
You can, and you can submit future agenda items after this meeting. Yeah, I mean, do it here.
If we can do it here?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we'll just
go
have to
ahead and make your statement that you made earlier, and we put it on the future agenda, and then we can talk about it. And
The park board,
Let me give you an update with regard to the landscape architect Memorial Garden. We have identified a landscape architect and company combined, and we're going to invite them out, and I was invite Mr. Fedler to come out and meet with us and see what their estimate is to proceed from there.
Okay,
So
is that
for
what you
the
want?
future agenda item, I think what we'd like to have then is a actionable item, Katrina, on discussion, consider, discuss, and act on future renovations, amendments, et cetera, to the Memorial Garden plan.
Discuss, consider, and act on future
Memorial Garden. Just Memorial Garden. We can just leave it, period. That way
Are you
we can-
talking about
That way we can
establishing,
discuss and make decisions and talk about it. If we want to motion something, we can, maybe you'll come back.
talking
with your-
about maybe concepts? I want additional
Somebody
statues.
might have an
or-
idea and we'd be like, oh yeah, we really like that one. Or we may have spoken to that architect that you like and he may have found another one and we want to discuss it and decide, well, we like yours better, or we like yours better. But we can't make any decisions.
The architect, the city administration will take care of the architect.
Oh, okay, got it.
Park board's not going to be interviewing landscape architects.
Okay, got
I can
it.
tell you that. So is that, now I can see what the process would be, is that we got a representative here, and that's what we're running with.
Absolutely.
Is he'll meet with that person and give some ideas, whatever those are. Now, if y'all want to have discussion on, maybe you need to have other meetings, because this, and, having one meeting a month is not going to be sufficient to transfer your ideas unless it's all
I think
going
there's three
through.
people on the committee, right? Three? They meet.
Well, you know how we did the playground equipment where they presented their bids and we picked? Is that something we can do?
Well,
Or
that-
present different
the way,
designs?
this will be just as if you're designing a building or anything else. This is going to be a landscape that's designed. And Mr. Fedler will represent the park board and describe his ideas to this landscape architect. He's going to come up with some kind of concept and give it back to Mr. Fedler. And Mr. Fedler, do you like that? Well, move this here, that there, or we're looking for a different kind of look. And then he's going to come with a final concept or final design.
And that kind of
And-
goes back to what I'm saying. If we have
And
a whole new
then
plan,
Mr.
we'll resubmit
Fedler
it.
can bring this back to the board for all to see.
And then back to the city council.
Right, and when I get that.
No, it
fir-
doesn't go to the city council then. Once you give your approval on it, he'll do a final design. Then it'll go out to bid. And you'll get a construction cost.
So then it's a whole new thing. I guess what I'm getting at is you're saying we're doing everything we've already done again, then we have to resubmit that. It's a completely different project.
But there's no plan. There never was a plan.
We had a
Correct.
very, yes, we did.
We had a fine
No,
plan.
no, I saw what we were saying, but that was what Mr. Fedler and rightly so we were uncomfortable with.
Because administration brought up other questions that we hadn't thought of.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
So will we be able to
We'll resubmit to
compare-
council.
Will we be able to compare what the landscape architect presents to what we had originally intended?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Well,
Okay.
What I'll commit to do is when we get the concept, the first concept, I'll bring it back to the team and we'll go over it and we'll look at it. And if we have things that we want to change, then I will take them back to the landscaper and say, this is what we want. Is that fair?
Excellent. Sounds
Okay.
great. So we have an actionable item for the next meeting, just Memorial Garden, so we can discuss anything that comes up between then and now. But you as the committee can meet outside of us in advance so that you have everything and you're just presenting. I guess you're presenting to me since I'm the one that's not in the team, sorry.
But we can all discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else for future?
We will probably want to put lessons learned on the Easter egg hunt on our agenda next time. Just to have, because we will have had the Easter egg hunt.
Correct.
So next meeting.
Got it.
We can see if there was anything we learned
All
and we
right.
didn't like or
Yes.
want to do. So
Got it.
That way we can take action if we want to.
So keep Easter egg on for next time, even though it will have passed, so we can still discuss the lessons learned.
Always best to do it when it's fresh in your mind.
Absolutely.
Good.
I think I'm good.